Welcome to Love is the Answer to Every Solution. Today, my guest is Christina Winslow. Hi, Christina. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you, Brie.
Oh, you're so welcome. I am really excited about this show. You know, I've known you and Ted for a while, and this time we're talking about the Wellpoint Method, hypnosis. And I said that a little wrong. Method, the Wellpoint Hypnosis Method.
Yes, correct.
Okay. You know what? I have no notes in front of me. We just talked. Anyway, so can you tell us about how you came up with it, how it came into creation, and how you guys came up with every step? Now, this is something different than I've ever seen. I've seen the Dolores Cannon ones. I've seen other things that are out there. But this one is a class I would take.
Well, that says a lot, Brie, because you're such a master teacher in the spiritual work that you do. So that's a huge compliment. I'm honored and humbled that you would say that. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So let's start off with how this came into creation.
Okay, so without getting too long-winded, because I could talk for hours about this, basically I'm probably like a lot of the listeners out there. I started with all the different types of classes and angels and Reiki, and that was in my 20s. Okay, and then I progressed in my spiritual esoteric studies, really always interested in the subconscious mind and thoughts and the power of positive thinking. And I was raised in a house where my father was the eternal optimist and basically raised us as us girls. We had all girls, that we could be anything we want to be, and it just whatever we put our mind to. So that was really a passion of mine. And over the years, owning different alternative health businesses and doing business coaching and spiritual publishing company all along the years, and it really ages me, but over a 30-year period that I've been really interested in what else is out there. How can we be the best we can be?
Mm-hmm.
Along that journey, what I personally was looking for was my own empowerment. And a lot of the other modalities, the hypnosis, past life regression modalities, and Akashic record work, it was all using outside spirits or entities or angels or the lords of karma or all these different beings. And for me, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to just higher self work or soul self, oversoul. There's many different words. I have some religious students and they call it their Holy Spirit. I don't care what label you put on it. So through that sovereignty, through that work, through trial and error, through working with clients in the traditional modalities where I would do the reading and the healing and the higher self clearing for them and the Akashic record work for them, it organically progressed when I started realizing that instead of me giving them the past life reading, why don't I take them with me? Then they can see it for themselves. And then they started to receive more powerful and lasting change. And I started using my husband's brainwave frequencies with it. And this is about 10-ish years ago. About 10 years. I guess I have to look back in my old journals to get an exact date because everybody always asks me, but it's about 10 years ago. So he's developing these brainwave frequencies. Well, I'm putting him into hypnosis, as Brie knows the stories, but I think it's great for the listeners who don't know. So I would say, Ted, we need frequencies for the fairies. And he's like, what? And I said, we need to do frequencies for the fairies. So I would put him into hypnosis and using my modality that I had developed over the years through trial and error, through working with clients around the world, remotely and in person. Okay, so that's how it all developed. And he was going to these places, the fairy realm. He would, in getting frequencies, or going to planetary frequencies. And it was all very safe. It was all working with his subconscious mind and his superconscious mind. You know, Carl Jung calls it the unconscious mind, that gateway, that quantum field within is what we call it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it all started happening. And I wasn't planning on teaching it. And then all these just beautiful, powerful souls from all over the world started contacting me out of the blue. What are you doing? What is this? You know, and that's how I met Brie. She was interviewing Ted, my husband, about brainwave frequencies on her syndicated radio show. And she's like, I got to talk to your wife, Ted. What is she doing with oils and all that? So I love that you were so spiritual and in sync, Brie, and connected. And that's how we became friends. And that was a few years ago. And Brie, I'm just so thrilled and honored that you're having me on your show today, so thanks. So that's how it all kind of happened.
Wow, that's so cool. Thank you for the compliment. And I'm just like going, I could just see Ted in the fairy realm.
Yeah, I'm sure he loves that I'm telling people that. But, you know, he would go connect in through to the unified field of consciousness, but through his own higher self.
Right.
And then he would be able to, in every album he does, he does that to get the correct frequencies and compositions to help people for the different brainwave.
Yeah, because while you were talking, I'm looking up. I go, oh, I can't move because I can't reach his albums.
Oh.
I have them lined up on my desk up here on the third shelf, right? It's like I reach up and grab them and say, here, guys, look at these. I'll put a little plug in there. Go to Ted Winslow.
I'll show you one. I just saw it before the show. I had it in my drawer of my desk. I don't know if it probably will be backwards. I don't know but this one.
There you go. No, that's good.
It's can you see it okay? Okay, so that one is a delta. He has an entire line of delta brainwave frequencies that he wrote specifically for Wellpoint Hypnosis Method. And our practitioners are the only ones that he will license to use his frequencies in their Wellpoint Hypnosis Method group regression events, and also their remote sessions and their in-person hypnosis sessions. So it's really amazing how an alchemy that we work together in the studio. I work with writing the scripts, and it's all done with very clear intentions for safety and sovereignty for the client, for the practitioner. They're not merging their energy field at all. They're very because, you know, when you're putting your clients into the theta, alpha, even delta brainwave state, they're opening up. And so we want to make sure that, you know, the frequencies are working in conjunction with the script and the technique.
Wow. They are so lucky, your students. They are lucky.
We love them.
I'm like going, do you know
like
how many
family.
times I've asked to get some of Ted's other stuff? Oh, no, you can't use it.
Yeah, well, and I know there's a lot of wonderful healers and people like you that do amazing work, Brie, but Ted decided to only stick with Wellpoint Hypnosis Method practitioners for his frequencies.
I understand that.
But we, you know, you use the frequencies a lot, Brie, and you're on a whole different level of consciousness than a lot of people.
You hit the fairies, and then when he goes up to another one, the other one, that's 700 and some hertz, I was like, oh boy.
Yeah.
That's good. Hello, Galactics.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm amazed on what this, I see some of your videos that you've done with your clients. And I'm kind of glad that I haven't been in a group of yours. You know what's going to come out of my mouth.
Oh, I know. You have like 10 books, Brie. We'd have to do an entire year of private sessions with you for all the information you have.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And I'm telling you. Well, I'm starting to start bringing some of it out now,
Yeah.
little by little. But next year I'll bring a lot of it out.
Well, you can connect in
Yeah.
so amazingly. So that's
Well, thank you. But I still need help once in a while. Let me tell you. So, but I watched one of yours on a hotel or bed and breakfast.
oh, the inn.
Yes, can that was amazing.
That was okay. I have chills just now.
Yeah, can
So
you explain that, please?
sure, I am glad you saw that and brought it up because it's such an amazing story. So here's a student that her and her husband bought. It's called the Lumber Baron Inn. It's in Colorado, in Denver, and like the old where the Scottish immigrants came a long time ago, like in the 1800s, and some, I guess, lumber baron, I don't know, some guy from Scotland came and built this mansion. Okay, well, her and her husband had bought it a few years ago, and they do weddings, and it's known as it's haunted, but like from good spirits. Two girls were killed in the 1970s when it was an apartment building. But it's not like scary haunted like the Stanley Hotel or anything, but it has like a lot of spiritual history, and it's a beautiful place. It's old historic 1800s building. Well, so she was in our level 1 class, and one benefit to coming to the in-person class, if people can handle the travel or time away from work, is that I'll pick students randomly to give a session in class to demonstrate to the class. So it's nice some of the students are able to receive a free session from me. And so Elaine, who was a student, and she gave us permission to create a little video of it. So she's in this session, okay, and she wanted to find out her connection to the house because her and her husband felt very drawn to it, even though it didn't really, from her words, something, like it didn't really make sense at this point in their life to go buy this 10,000 square foot haunted mansion and create this event center, and there's hotel rooms and, this inn. Anyway, in her session in class, and there was not a dry eye. She found out she was okay, this is something really interesting, Brie. She knew a lot of the history of the house, but never knew that there was a governess that took care of the children. So this is Elaine right now, did not know there was a governess, okay?
Wow.
In regression with, she has the brainwave frequencies. We're just like really she finds out she's the governess. She's taking care of the children. She fell in love. She was really in love with the gardener. And they were not allowed. They were not allowed. Okay. And when you hear her voice, it changes in her session. Like she is there, and she is like this young virgin, shy about boys in the 1800s, and has to be proper and cannot tell him she likes him. And she had a crush on Jacob the gardener. Well, and we couldn't put the entire session because there's a lot of private things that we don't want to, I wasn't going to put a 3-hour session on YouTube. It's only 15, 17 minutes. Okay, but this is what's so cool, Brie. So, and she talks about all this information in her session and how that the silver price crashed and they had to let their staff go, and it was like they were never able to connect, her and Jacob the gardener, right? Well, in her session, and I couldn't go into the entire thing on the video, but I want to tell you guys the story because it will blow your mind. So in the video, in her regression, she says, and then I went and I worked at a library, and I was happy, and I was in a very small place, and she talks about her life, and she never married or had kids. And then close to the library, she died and she was able to die at a place where the nuns were taking care of her in the gardens. Okay, so, and it was like this beautiful story and this beautiful life, right? Oh my gosh, it gets so good. even better. So I hope I'm not boring you guys, but it's so cool.
No. Keep going. Keep going.
So, and when she's still in her hypnosis session, she's talking about that life from a different perspective, her soul self, her true self perspective.
Right.
And she said, oh, Joel, Jacob, the gardener, is Joel, her husband now. Okay, the whole place started crying, the entire class. We had a full room, just like this was, and you could get chills, and they go into much detail, so it was like confirming it, right? It was amazing. And then all the different things that they were brought back to that house in this life, and they were able to have a love story and be, their souls were able to come back to the house, and now they're the owners and they're married at the house. Okay, it gets even cooler. Brie, are you okay if I go a couple more minutes?
Yeah, keep going. Keep going.
Okay, so then we're like, okay, so we finished the session, and this is a little, outtake kind of the little glimpse in our class. So we're having the discussion with Elaine. We're like, oh, that is so beautiful. Jacob is your husband, Joel. And she's like, he always had a connection to that house. He had to buy that house. We had to move here, even though it didn't make sense. And now, okay. So then I said, wait. Okay, because I don't know downtown Denver very well, even though I live here. I don't go down. I know nature. You ask me hiking spots, I could tell you, but I don't know different areas in Denver very well. But Ted does, and Ted was in class with us. I said, "Wait, Ted," because I knew the place where my Nana was an old place she wanted to go, and before she passed away, she wanted the nuns to take care of her. And I said, Ted, where Nana. This is the little offshoot. I said, Ted, remember where my Nana was before she died with the nuns? And he said, yeah. I said, is that by the lumber baron at all? Because it seemed like the same part of town, the look. He goes, it's in walking distance. Guess what it's called, Brie? The Gardens of St. Elizabeth. She said she died in the gardens and the nuns were taking care of her. Well, it gets more. Wait, there's more. Okay, so that was like a year ago. This all happened. Are you okay if I keep going?
Yeah, it's just tea, not alcohol this time.
You might need a drink after this. No. Okay, so just kidding. Okay, so a year later, I find out, she finds out that one of the gals that works with her at the lumber baron, she did a hypnosis on. Elaine's now a level 3 practitioner. She's like, this is incredible. And she does incredible sessions there, and people can spend the night at her inn and then get several sessions from her. And it's really cool what she's doing over there. But anyway, one of the gals that works with her was a nun. They found out in a Wellpoint session, she was one of the nuns that took care of her. See how souls come back to each other? Well, then one last thing, and then, okay, if you don't mind, before I forget. So we're in level 3 class this month in October, right? And Elaine said, oh, I haven't told you this. And she's like, there's more information. And I said, what? Okay, not only did they find the library, which was in walking distance, an old library, they researched it. So she actually did work at that library. She said, I found out from some of the ancestors from the Moat family, the Scottish family, there was a governess. She never knew there was a governess. And I mean, we were about to cry and clap. We're like, oh my gosh. So I made a little video. It's on Wellpoint Hypnosis Method YouTube channel. And Brie, I don't know if you can put links on your thing or not, but
yeah, this is going to go on YouTube.
There's a video on YouTube that gives pictures and a little bit of the history and the music. Ted wrote it.
I'll get a link up on that. I'll have
so that's the story of it. I hope I didn't go too long with that.
No, you're fine, because you know what? I haven't told a lot of people this. In 1901 to 07, right in there. I was in this house before, married to a spiritualist. And what can I say? I'm listening, Miss Sir. Okay, so I'm okay with telling this. 1901, I was in this house. I was married to a spiritualist. My sister was living with me. Okay? My sister, a friend of mine, I'll say that, okay? Because I don't have permission to say her name. You know what I'm talking about. And we did, as goddesses, or whatever you want to call us, but we're goddesses, right? We set the energy all over here where I live.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, see, look at the. So, it would be really interesting, Brie, is to go back to that time, because you can get so much information. We have people that we're putting into hypnosis, and we're finding recipes and information and lost and hidden techniques and healing techniques and
I'm
going back to their lives. I mean, that would be just an incredible book, even, of like that life when you were living there in the 1900s, and any similarities in the life you have now, or
it's so similar. No matter.
It's amazing.
Now I keep coming back looking the same way. Except for Lemuria, tall and thin. I keep coming back short and chubby. That's okay. But
Yeah, my next life, can I be Swedish with long legs?
I'm telling you.
Instead of short Italian.
It's like taller. I'm 5 foot, right? Can I be 5'5" or 5'7"?
Yeah, exactly.
My little fat won't show as much,
Hey, I'm 5'1". I'm right there with you. So
I'm telling you.
Ourselves next life, we want to be 5'7".
Yeah, well, you know what? I don't know. I just heard when, it's kind of like, how we always say this is our last life, right? I know I'm coming right back.
I have to tell you, that whole concept, I don't want to limit myself.
I know.
Because, sure, right now we're like, oh, corruption, pollution, evil's around us, or whatever, like all these negative, dark, low vibration things in our 3D reality. And I totally understand that there's a lot of people suffering and hurting. And and so I get why a lot of my friends or clients or even students are like, I don't know, this is my last time. The way I look at it is, why not get as much work done now while I'm in a body and clear as much judgment and as much trauma and contracts and all the things that keep us down now. And then I'll make decisions later on what I want to do. But I don't know if I know the whole picture yet to make a decision if I'm not going to come back.
You will. You'll come back.
So that's kind of mine.
The knowing of Brie, you're coming back.
Will I be 5'7"?
That I don't know.
Just kidding.
We're both coming back. The one thing is, I'm a little controversial, so I want to talk about the third dimension. We look like we're living in the third dimension world right now, but we actually have moved out of it. And I think it's a great way for the people that haven't healed some things. Your method is helping them heal to move forward into the fifth and higher. That may sound a little different to you, but
no, I understand what you're saying. And we all have our own ways of saying things, so I never get hung up on terms or labels or
thank you.
Anything, because you're just using the words available to you to describe that the raising of consciousness, the opening of awareness, and the frequency people are raising their vibration, and whatever you want to say. the words and the 5D thing and all that. Okay, so I agree with you. I really have seen radical transformation. Well, I saw it in my clients, but that was just me working on my own, doing my own thing, and you don't always see your clients again. You'll hear about, they'll send you an email, or once in a while they come back for more sessions later and you get updates. But where I really noticed the radical transformations now, and what we do now takes us into the other dimensions, right? And
Right.
it's really obvious in the classes, because I'll see a student, take a level 1 class in July, and then they take a level 2 class in February. Do you know what I mean? And then they're totally different, and they're, huge radical transformations. Relationships with estranged family members healed. Some people have radical weight loss. Some people have radical income changes where they're making money finally in their healing businesses. Like, they can't believe the difference. Getting rid of, like, we work in the epigenetics. We work with the Akashic or soul record. I like soul records better, but I say the word Akashic just because people know that term. They'll know what I'm talking about. Changing contracts, agreements, getting rid of attached entities that have been draining their energy and it's not their true personality. I mean, a grandma entity was attached to one person who could never find love. Well, it was her grandma that was stopping the men. So we had to make grandma happy, and grandma was happy to go. But
I have a quick story to tell you. My grandmother was horrible. I'm saying that with all the love I have in my heart, right?
Yeah, well, everybody has their own path, right? So
this is so funny. My sister was driving the car. I was in the back seat, not 16, right? And my grandmother is in the passenger seat, right? Brie in her big mouth goes, "Oh God, that guy is cute." And my grandmother pulls her dentures out. Picking stuff out.
Oh my gosh, is that where you get your sense of humor from your grandma?
Short little German woman, right?
He sounds like a spitfire to me.
She was. Yeah, you irritate this woman. But she took her dentures out and started picking little things off of it. She goes, "I knew I could get rid of that guy for you." Oh, in German, she's telling me, right? "I know I could get rid of that guy away from you." I said,
well, you have a husband, so she must not have stopped.
No, this is years ago.
Yeah, she didn't stop.
Right? And I went, Oma, that's Austrashame, which Oma is grandmother in German, right? And Austrashame is that's awful. And she was laughing. She goes, in German, she told me, "Well, I didn't like it, the way he looked at me." Okay, that's fine. I went home and told my mom. My mom just started laughing.
That's really funny. Yeah, I know. It's Brie, that's like totally in your DNA. Your grandma's like spunk. That's so funny. You're telling me the story. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's something you would do to tease someone, if you know what I mean. You would. But see, we are so much our ancestors.
We are.
And
what's really funny with me is I'm adopted, and
interesting.
I have met my birth family. I'm nothing like them. Nothing.
Well, they say that you can. Okay, but for people who are adopted, that they can take on traits of their adopted family, even start looking like them. They've done studies.
I look like my birth mother. I do, but I look like my mother also, that adopted me, that raised me, and I love very much. But I'll tell you this. The thing is, I'm gonna get to so basically my adopted mother was the head of the soul family. We have the soul family we were born from before we come here, right? And her and I are so much alike. We were so much alike. Spitfire, big mouth, the whole bit, right? And all of a sudden she turned 65 or something, and she had no, and all of a sudden she was just quiet. I go,
Huh.
you're not mad no more. You're getting calm. Yeah, when you get, down. And now it's hitting me, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going, Mom, what are you doing to me? I look up and go, what are you doing? You're changing me.
How old were you when you were adopted?
Oh, the day she took me home, I was 8 hours. 8 hours.
You're okay, because 0 to 7 years, your brainwave is in theta brainwave state. And all you are is a sponge absorbing everything from your environment. So your entire subconscious programming was from your adopted mother. So no wonder you're so much alike. And, she was such a beautiful blessing to your life. And she, it's like you two were so soul connected.
Yes. I was told that when she picked me up at 7:30 in the morning, and my dad had to go to work, and she picked me up, and our souls hit.
Oh,
And
that's
she
so pretty.
knew
I love that.
everything I was going to have to go through. She started crying.
Oh, wow.
And, that being teased as a kid because of what I believe in and this and that, what she believed in, right? But she knew what I was going to have to go through. And then it left her within minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. She was left in minutes.
Wow. That's amazing.
Because I had a big brother. My sister's a witch.
Oh my gosh. I have to tell you about some of that, because the witch thing, so many people have issues about they're afraid to come out. Like they want, women especially. All right, so they were killed as a witch in a past life, which they could have been a healer or whatever, right?
That's me. I was a healer.
Right. They're usually healer people.
Right.
But they were killed, and now in this life, it's safe for them to do their healing business, and there's a lot of women not making any money in their healing business because they are energetically and subconsciously hiding for safety. And so we go in with our Wellpoint method, and we go in and we find what happened, and we work through that trauma, and so that they can be safe and seen. Because what good is your beautiful healing modality, whatever you're doing?
Right.
Nobody can find you. They're hiding themselves and they don't even realize it.
I like that.
Yeah, because this life is safe for them to be out there, but they don't realize they're sending this invisible signal from their subconscious mind, their frequency, their energy field out there. And it's almost like they're invisible. And
so I've been killed 5 times as a witch.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait to get you into a session, Brie.
So that's why I wear everything really low cut, because I can't handle anything to hear.
Oh, yes.
Strangulation, right?
Right.
Drowning with my head, cut up in pieces. So in the early 1800s, I used to love 1800 furniture. And I talked to somebody about this, and I went, how come I like this furniture so well? Well, let me tell you what you did.
Used to have it.
You were a healer. This is from somebody that's very well known that I trust, okay? I'm going to say that. And with the touch of your hand, you could heal anything. And children with cystic fibrosis, anything. Well, they cut your head up. They cut you in pieces. It was bad. When I think of the Mel Gibson movie Braveheart.
Yeah.
Head.
They did some really brutal things.
Yeah, and they threw my pieces all over the place, right? About me. The furniture went out the door the next day for free. I had to release that. And so then I released it all. But yeah, I understand that about people holding on to that in their thought patterns and cellular memory.
Right, because, 95% of our life is run by our subconscious, and some people call it unconscious mind, but I call it, they also call it superconscious mind.
Right.
I like superconscious better than unconscious as a term. But 94% of our life is run by our subconscious and superconscious minds. So
Wow.
we, you let's just say you have some unhealed trauma from a life that you were killed, for whatever reason, you don't even realize that. And we've had clients where it's like that knee pain goes away because we found that there was some unhealed trauma thought form in the knee, and
Right.
it was from the life that their head was cut off because they were a witch or whatever, or a traitor or heretic, whatever. And it's amazing, we can find these places in the body and things can spontaneously feel better, like frozen shoulders, back pain, all these different things, that migraines, a lot of head, people who have
Right.
head injuries or head trauma and they were killed by something blunt to the head, and their headaches go away. So you never know what can happen, and what I love about it is it's up to the individual. So let's say an individual client is not ready yet to see something or let something go. Let's say they were killed by someone, a blunt trauma, some trauma to the head by a blunt object. Let's just say, for example, okay?
Right.
If they're not ready to see it, their subconscious mind, their higher self is not going to show it to them in the session, but they could still get a great session and amazing results with other things, okay? If they're ready to see it as the neutral observer, many times just seeing it or just asking for that to be healed from their soul consciousness in a session can release something where they have relief. So it's all about the client, their comfort zone, what they're ready to deal with. It's all very safe and peaceful, with the healing frequencies. And so that's kind of what we do.
Well, we're about out time.
Wow.
I know. I'm
So
man. Excuse me. So can you give us your information, how to get a hold of you, all that good stuff?
Sure. You can find out more information on our website, wellpointhypnosismethod.com. I know that's a mouthful. And we're on Twitter at wellpoint_hypnosis. You can follow us there. And we have a Wellpoint Hypnosis Method Facebook page also if you want to connect with us on Facebook. But try to go to the website because there's free music downloads there, and we would love it from Ted's Love and Gratitude album. And there's some beautiful frequency music that you can download for free. Just go onto the store, you'll see it. There's 4 or 5 songs. And we'd love, Ted and I would love for you guys to at least, use those frequencies and have the free music as our service to others. We really, want to encourage people to give at least the music a try. But, there's practitioners all over the world. We're at around 60 practitioners now worldwide and growing. So if you want a session, there's many practitioners on our website that you can look for one, or classes if you're interested.
Right. That's one thing I want to find out, if you were taking more students right now.
Oh, absolutely. We have level 1 and level 2 online. And that is always. So you can fit it into your own time schedule. You don't have to worry about a dog sitter, a house sitter, a babysitter. Because as a working mom myself.
Husband sitter.
Yeah, a husband sitter. There you go. But Brie, as a working mom, it was really important for me to do as much as I could remotely, and it took a lot of work and investment to create a level 1 and a level 2 online courses. But I did that for the working moms out there, really. I mean,
I think it's
and the
great.
working dads, there's a lot of dads out there
Mhm.
that are single dads or divorced, and they can't leave the kids, or they're helping an elderly parent at home, and they love to do this work. And so, but we also have live in-person classes in Colorado, and we're looking at expanding, and as we get more practitioners and teachers trained, we will be offering live classes worldwide. So if anyone is ever called to teach, look at our program, because we
Mhm.
have some opportunities there too. But
Okay.
really, Brie, thank you so much.
Oh,
I
you're
just
welcome.
love you. You're
I
definitely
love
a
you
soul
too.
sister. I've seen some lives where we've had together. Brie's the kind of gal that if you always, if you have a bad hair day, she's the kind of friend that you can call and she's always there. And you're such a beautiful soul, Brie, and it's such a
Thank you.
beautiful spiritual teacher, and
Thank you.
you're doing such great work. And so it's definitely been an honor and pleasure to be
And
on your
you're the
show.
same. You are the same, exactly what you said about me. And so, thank you everyone for listening. And we will see you again on Love is the Answer to Every Solution. Have a great day.